guys. Another edition of Chat with Charlie. And as always, I wish it was more always, actually, Jen. But we have Jen with us again on Chat with Charlie. A little bit of a special episode. We're going to get in some TikTok from the lovers here. We're gonna kind of chop it up. But first, Jen, please introduce everybody to your spouse. I'm glad everybody's listening in, but we got to know who this cat is right beside you.
Yes, Nick is the backbone of our relationship and my work.
The backbone.
The backbone. Man. He is the better half. This is Nick. I met him when I was 19 years old, so we've been together.
Love at first sight?
Love at first sight, immediately.
That's
Absolutely.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, so we've been married 17 years.
17 years. Who does that now?
I know, right?
I mean, she's been with me longer than she's been with her parents. Which is crazy to think.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
My life has been with Nick.
Yeah.
So I got really lucky. I don't think a lot of people find love at a young age, but I did. Now, I was young. He was much, much older.
He was more mature, refined.
He was dating a teenager at 27. Like, that's disgusting. Anyway.
Yeah, but believe it or not.
Old school me would give him knuckles. But I won't do that here.
But believe it or not, like for her age, she was really mature.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's grown out of that yet. So she was very mature for 19, and she's kind of stayed the same the last 20 years.
Sure.
I believe that. And then again, you may have said this. Where did you guys meet at?
I worked at Cracker Barrel for 7 years. I was a waitress there.
Love their apples.
Their fried apples are great.
Fried apples are awesome.
Nick was a Cracker Barrel server before I worked there. So someone set us up on a date because I didn't want to get married or have children. And someone who worked there was like, oh, I know a guy who also doesn't want to get married or have children. His name is Jenn Lyles. So she introduced us and we got married.
So who needs to swipe left or right anymore? Just work at Cracker Barrel.
That's it. That's our love story. We have Cracker Barrel rocking chairs out of our patio.
I do have two of those. I like them, actually.
They're great.
Do you guys believe, what is it called? Like soulmates. Do you guys believe in that? Especially from the young age and then that love at first sight. Do you believe in that?
I do, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she tells me like if I die, she'll be fine.
Don't say things.
Oh no, we will say things
Nick,
like that.
You are going to make us go viral in a bad way again. Just don't do it.
Wait a minute. You like sound, but no, Jen has always told me she likes sound bites. So my friend, thank you.
I'm a
soundbite sales, right?
I'm a soundbite person. No, the fact is, I think you can choose to be. I think I could have chosen 15 other people and had different paths and just like chosen to stay faithful and be in love with them. But like, I think a lot of it is a choice. And I'm glad I married Nick. I'm glad I chose him, but I don't believe in soulmates.
Wow.
Well, this is a fairly good segue, but I want to ask one more question. Nick, what do you do? What keeps you busy and things like that so Jen can do everything that she does?
Yeah, so I just basically focus on real estate investing.
Okay.
It's what I do. So it doesn't require a lot of my time, so I can kind of help her with what she needs to do as far as her travel and me staying home. So that's kind of what I get into.
But also tell him, because July 4th is coming up.
Okay, so I also dabble around. I do fireworks as well.
No way.
I had a big 50-foot shipping container come from China last week. And I have, anywhere between 3 to 5.
And it was just fireworks?
Just fireworks.
Okay.
Yeah, but we do between 3 to 5 tents a year.
Really?
And so that 2.5 week span, I'm just swamped.
He's slammed.
Yeah.
And margins have to be great in that, right?
Oh, it's insane. Especially when you get from China.
Did you just stumble into that, or did you hey, I can do that?
I kind of did. I knew a guy, and he was telling me about it, and he was like, oh, yeah, I work for this guy, and we do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, the entrepreneurial spirit of me is like, why are you working for a guy? Come work for me. Let's do it together. You be the brains, and I'll be the backer. And that's kind of what we did. So I've learned a lot about it. This year is the first year we figured out how to order from China directly versus ordering, wholesale from here.
Yeah.
And so we're learning together, and it's really been great.
Dude, that's freaking awesome. I envy that. And then I guess you could almost make, I know some people, I used to do hat sales. I used to go to College World Series and sell hats during that in Omaha, where was that then? And Rosenblatt. and we make a killing and almost make almost 6 months of income based on that 2 week span. And it's kind of similar like that, where you capitalize on certain events and focus and things like that. So that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, down the line, he wants to get into like Christmas trees and then a pumpkin patch, like the seasonal
pumpkin
stuff.
patch.
Yeah,
that's
where the money's at.
That's where the money's at, right there.
Those sucker moms. I'm just joking.
The Instagram moms will just line up for it. So.
Well, I know he'll be on TikTok helping that out a little bit.
Exactly.
And then doors, just real quick. So I know, don't they say doors, like how many doors do you have when you're in real estate, or is that more on rentals, or are you more of commercial, residential, or?
Oh, so what I do is I used to build like big new construction houses, and I've kind of shifted my focus with these interest rates being so high. So I'll buy like cheaper houses, I'll renovate them, and I'll sell them, at a pretty cheap price that's very affordable for people.
Yeah.
That's what I get. I get like into flip renovations right now.
But
really?
Charlie, this is new. This is newer for Nick. So this is just in the past few years. Since we had gone on a game show and won some money, he invested it all into this business.
So smart.
Nick was a barbecue pit master for 20 years. He ran barbecue restaurants.
Nick,
if you remember, I sent you the commercial.
You did. Nick, if Jen dies, I'm marrying you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made us ribs last night. Like, no one cooks ribs and brisket like Nick does. He's phenomenal.
We gotta do this. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So good. We always talk about maybe one day doing like a food truck or a catering business, but no one cooks barbecue like him.
Yeah.
So.
And you're in Nashville, right? You guys are in Nashville. Can you do food trucks in Nashville? Do they allow that?
Yeah, there's a huge.
Oh yeah, it's massive. There's not a lot like where we live down here south of Nashville, and it would be kind of a passion project. It would be one of those things of like, if I make a little bit of money, great. If I don't, it is what it is.
It's fun though. You like it.
100%. Same thing with fireworks. We do really, really well with fireworks, but I enjoy just sitting out in the tents for 2 weeks. Because no one that comes in to buy fireworks is mad or angry. They're all happy. They're excited to do it, right? So you just get to talk to people in their natural state of them being euphoric,
This is what I admire about Nick, just like doing passionate things. So the Live Golf Tournament is coming here 15 minutes up the road from us in 2 weeks. Nick signed up to be a volunteer. He contacted the Live Tour, and he's going to be a ball spotter for 3 days. He's going to walk.
Oh, you're going to love it.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible!
He is so stoked.
Yeah. Oh, I'm super excited.
Dude, I'm so envious. Do you guys ever make it down to Chattanooga by chance?
Oh, sure. I used to live there.
Yeah,
Did you really? I live in Ottawa. If you know where Ottawa is.
Yeah, my best friend lived in Ottawa, so I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah, I had some really. In fact, I've got 2 boys, and they spent most of their elementary years in that kind of area until they got to middle school, and then we moved. And Chattanooga is a special place in my heart. That's a very cool place. Love Nashville, but I really love Chattanooga.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. We contemplated living there years ago. We didn't pull the trigger, but we like where we're at now. But yeah, Chattanooga's great.
Yeah,
man. Well, man, we need to cut it up off show and have some fun. Talk about Jen a little bit, maybe. Something like
do that.
The non-soulmate there. So let's get into this. Because we already got a little spicy, but we want to talk about this TikTok thing. I was doing my thing old man style, like my grandma. I was going like this and looking at some things, and I ran across you guys, and there was a dude's little head in the corner, and he was doing his summary or whatever and things like that. What's going on here? Talk to me about TikTok. You're the TikTok queen, but talk to me about this.
Charlie, in about the span of 30 seconds, I destroyed my entire reputation online. I gotta say, it was a rough
soundbite.
It was a rough couple weeks. The good news is you can recover. So here's what happened. I was out of town for a work trip, and I came home, and like we just said, Nick works remotely. He can be home with our dogs. He's amazing. He cleans the house. He does the cooking. I mean, I really have a phenomenal husband here. And so every time I come home from a work trip, I know I'm going to walk into a spotless house. It's something that I don't take for granted. Super grateful.
Yeah, don't. From another guy's point of view, don't.
Yeah.
I know this is not normal. I walked in to go to the restroom, obviously, like as soon as I got off the plane, got home, and our toilet water was blue, like a gas station. And I was like, what did you do? What is this? And bless his heart, like he did it for me. He thought that I wanted that because he had found some blue tabs under the counter, which I assume was from like a previous owner of our house. I would have never bought that. But he saw it thinking, oh, Jenn must have bought that.
There's going to be no royalty on the royal flush or whatever they're called. There's no royalty going on here.
And so he puts one in the tank and puts it in both of our tanks in both of our bathrooms. And I'm like, this is disgusting. Like, it smells like a gas station. It looks terrible. I'm like, why would you do this? Like,
so it's got an aroma too. It's not just a color.
Right.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Nick, my nose is a lot better than yours, and you know it. It was bad. It was disgusting. So anyway, I was like, okay, what's the big deal? Maybe after a few flushes, it'll go. It didn't. It was, I swear it was.
It's like 3,000 flushes. Isn't that their claim? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Come on.
So I decide to take some tongs and like get in there to get it out. And as I do it, the whole thing disintegrates into this super bright blue. So now it does look
with like the blue lines, like the darker and the lighter blue, and it's like all like coming down and doing its thing.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I'm like, how do we get this out? And we are not the most handy people. We hire a lot of people to do stuff. Like we literally don't know how to change a doorknob in our house. And so to even like empty the back of the toilet, we wouldn't even know how to do that. Like we'd have to like Google it, get on YouTube, something. So I'm like, Nick, you need to do this. And he's like, oh my, like, who cares? What's the big deal? Like, it'll go away. And I'm like, no, like we have company over. Like this just, I don't like, I think it looks kind of trashy. Like I don't want it here. So we're laying in bed one night. I'm like searching, and I search on TikTok how to empty your water tank in the back of your toilet. And he's like, oh my God, like enough with it. What is the big deal? And so that was sort of our fight.
So was this dramatic reasons, or was she this intense, Nick? Like it was like the end of my world right now.
No, she wasn't that dramatic, but you know how Jen can be, where there's massive emphasis on things, and it wasn't like that big of a deal. But she just kept saying, like, she just wouldn't let it go. Like, oh, this is so stupid. Why are you doing it? You're an idiot. You're an idiot, right? Like just that kind of stuff. It wasn't like
her. Like this is how Nick and I like.
No, I get it. I get it.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I get it. But who decided to video it? Like, well, how did that come about?
So
who do you think?
So this is what happened. I had been telling my friends the story. They thought it was hysterical. We're totally on my side about it.
Of course they are.
Of course.
Yeah, they're your friends.
Well, at first, my friend Melissa was like, you're being kind of dramatic. And then I showed her the video of like the blue toilet. She's like, okay, you're not being dramatic. That looks ridiculous.
It's a toilet.
Listen, it just doesn't look good, Charlie. It looked like a gas station.
They call them cakes, don't they? I was trying to think of it. Don't they call them urinal cakes? Urinal cakes. You're yes. Anti-urinal cake.
I'm anti-urinal cake. Who knows? I had a client come to town with her husband. We're sitting at dinner. I tell them the story. They're hysterically laughing. They're like, this is so funny. They're like, you should put it on TikTok. My friends are like, you should put this. I was like, no, that's not really my brand on TikTok. I do like clothes reviews. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it on TikTok. And if there's anything I know about TikTok, it's I know how to rage bait. I know how to have a hook. I know how to get someone to watch something.
You're a student of the game. You're a student of the game.
Yes. I know how to go viral. So that's what I did. I did a story. And, I rage baited it a bit, like a little over dramatic. And I did not say it. I did not say, should I divorce him? In the caption, which was a joke, I said, is this grounds for divorce? ? That was it.
Gosh.
Immediately.
Nick.
This is
unbelievable. So you get her an hour a week. Imagine 24/7.
This is. Hey.
17 years. I'm just going to say that for everybody watching.
Soulmate.
17 years. Keep going, though, but 17 years.
Yeah, we're trying to soulmate that one.
Oh, yeah, we'll try. Yeah.
So this is what happened. The comments were very divided. It was a lot of people that
was
were
it like, gender divided?
No. At first, no. I mean, it was mostly women. Not a ton of men were on my page because how TikTok works is the algorithm. They generally serve my content up to women, millennial women.
Because that's what you've driven towards. That's your lane.
And that's who I am in my profile. So that's who generally sees my stuff. So the comments were very split, like, oh, you're so lucky to have a husband to even clean. You should be bowing down to him. To where I'm like, how low is this?
Bowing down. Wow.
Oh, you should be worshiping this man. I've been married for 40 years. My husband's never even changed a diaper, never even cleaned a toilet. And I'm like, okay, you have bigger problems. Like if that is your life, like, I'm sorry, but the bar is low for women. If I'm supposed to be worshiping Nick for cleaning a toilet.
And you wonder why people hate
Okay,
it.
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm digging it. This is great for my downloads, so keep going.
But then on the other side, I have a ton of people who were like, yes, that's for a gas station. Oh my goodness, this is so funny. This is so hilarious. Everything was very like good, bad. Like a lot of things happen on TikTok.
But it went personal, didn't it?
What happened was 2 days later, 2 huge creators with millions of followers decided to stitch the video where they were giving their input, which was very negative toward me.
And that's what I saw.
That's what you saw. Oh, about 1 million people saw my video. About 6 million saw each of those. So
yep.
That's when I started getting thousands and thousands and thousands of comments coming to my videos, people who would normally never stumble across my stuff. And it was bad. It was like, it was personal. People were saying how ugly I am and how I have a huge forehead.
So they went to a different,
different to where I was like, this is bad. I mean, people were messaging me to kill myself.
You're kidding me.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Because I hear this, you just from and I don't want to deviate a little bit, but because I want to get to our vertical a little bit at the end of this, because I do want to segue into that, so we won't forget about that. But you hear about that stuff, the cyberbullying, the I don't know if it's unintentional words with such intentional outcomes.
Yeah.
By saying like a urinal cake, honestly, you can disagree or agree, whatever. But to go that far against another human being, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Someone messaged Nick like on Instagram Messenger, found him and was like, your wife is having an affair in Nashville. And I'm like, what? First of all, why would I do it in Nashville on my home turf? But second of all, like that is crazy. Like
home turf. So you have like road turf.
Did you catch that, Nick? It's like okay. First of all, dummy, I wouldn't do that in my own location. Yeah, like duh.
In Florida by the beach.
This is Nick and I. We're just like banter. Like, what's the big deal? Like, has no one ever been married before? Like, when you're with someone for over 20 years, this is how you talk to each other. It was so bad. The comments were people proposing to Nick and leave her, divorce. Everyone was saying divorce her, marry me. I mean, it was really, really bad. And the comments were really getting to me. I had to literally take the app off of my phone, which is what I did, just so I wouldn't even be tempted to look. And I went 3 days not going on.
Because of the emotional impact of something that you were using as just a tool, right?
Yeah.
And have some fun with it. That turned into this very visceral. Is visceral the right word? Is that a right word? Visceral? Yeah, I think it is. It? Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you, Nick, and Johnny.
I say it.
Into this very kind of personal attack on your integrity almost, and your marriage vows and who you are as a human or what your maker gave you. You know, that type of thing. And Nick's over here getting marriage proposals.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad for one of us.
Yeah, what did everyone call you, Nick?
I was a green flag.
Green flag guy. Everyone.
What's a green flag guy?
Opposite of a red flag. Red flag is like, oh, stay away from that person. They have red flags.
Oh, so we got flags now. Really?
Yeah.
I got Jack in here. He's an intern. He goes to you're at CNU, right? CNU is, it escapes me. I'm not smart. Christopher Newport University. We got Jack here. He's an intern with us from Christopher Newport University. So he's helping me with the young thing. And,
okay.
Yeah. So he's helping.
But he knows red flags, green flags.
He did. Yeah, he was shaking his head yes, and I'm going, huh? So you're a green flag guy.
Nick is green flag guy. I think what upset me.
Wait, Jen. I got to cut you off. But not in your hometown.
Not on my home turf.
Yeah, you got that's your turf. You don't
Maybe
mess with
we should
turf.
have that. Like that was again a joke, and that's the thing is people don't pick that up because they don't know me. Because my friends watch the video and they're like, "I know you. If you don't know you, you probably don't come off great." But it wasn't just that; it was like the stitches were so bad.
Yeah, but they
So,
made it worse. What I saw,
Yeah.
even from you've been a journalist. You know, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
To almost stoke the fire on their own narrative, and we're going into a campaign season, and that's going to happen. Those type of things, and then that narrative gets pushed, and they forget about this part. They only hear the inflammatory part, and it's freaking TikTok. I mean, to me, it's like, dude, you can buy a blouse or make fun of someone. I mean, what do you want to do?
Well, what I have learned is that people need to be told what to think about a situation. No one has their own opinions because when it was people's opinions, people could see both sides and see the humor in it. It wasn't until two big creators had to tell people what to think about the situation, which is that we should get a divorce, that all the comments started coming. I mean, it's mind blowing.
But are those influencers, are the Stitch people, are they considered influencers, or are they just Johnny come latelys that just ride the coattails? Jack? They're basic influencers, right? Yeah. So, but I feel like they're not. They're riding other people's coattails for their own personal gain.
The one does. The woman, that's all she does is she finds these rage bait.
Should we put her on blast on here?
I'm not even saying any of their names because I don't even want anyone going to their pages. I just don't support them. I just don't support people taking other people's content just to tear them down when you don't even know these people. And I think what hurt me the most was that we have an amazing marriage. Like we are best friends. We really are.
No, for sure. And I think the thing that stinks about it the most is, you just take like 30 seconds of somebody's life and assume that's 24/7. But I think if you knew us, it would be the complete opposite. Like it's just not really that way. And I think the main point I took away from it was, out of the mouth, the heart speaks, right?
Yeah.
And I just think there's just a lot of people out there that are I just think there's a lot of evil out there.
Yeah.
I think it's evil intent, and for me as an older guy, because, we're almost 9 years apart,
which isn't much. I mean, to be quite honest with you, especially when you take not age maturity, but maturity, you take that. Yeah.
But see, when you look at people like us, Charlie, like, I feel that our generation can just let that roll off the back and just laugh about it like, oh, man, these people, right? But I didn't realize how much it affected her because I kept saying
deeply.
It's not a deal. Yeah, and I was like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But at the same time, though, if 5,000 people called you ugly, you would start questioning yourself.
Well, and then you get into shaming, right? What's that girl's name? She did a song about Victoria's Secret. Jax, yeah. And I think that's the point of her song, right? Is that you were duped into thinking this, and it was from a man. It wasn't even from a fellow woman. Is that a good analogy? I don't know, but that's kind of what I get.
Yeah, but I also think about it from the standpoint of I could see if you didn't have a strong marriage with your spouse, that this could be like it could kind of rip people
that could have
apart.
broke you apart, or subconsciously you house it and then it comes up, like I never believe a real argument comes from that. It's always exacerbated, and that's just the catapult that got the elephant in the room out there. And it's to some extent, I mean, that could have really done damage, maybe not now, but in 2 years, where it's back there and then it comes up again or something like that.
See, for us, it's not that way because, like, I mean, I'll be 100% honest with you. If somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, I saw Jen at a conference in Orlando not on her home turf, but in Orlando, and she was with a guy," I'd be like, "No, she wasn't." Like, I mean, I fully trust her, and if she was, great. She was probably doing business. Like, I don't think I would never in my entire life think, okay, she's going out and leaving me, going somewhere else, and there's malicious intent behind it. That's why I never took it serious, because I believe in our marriage. Like, that's why I thought it was funny when she would tell me certain things about what people say. I would laugh.
You were laughing about it, and it probably makes her even more mad. Yeah, because you're not appreciating it.
You're so non-supportive. Blah blah blah. God, you're just like these people. And I'm
gonna video this now.
Yeah. In 2 weeks, this will all go away. It'll be fine.
But I want to ask you a question because I think it's relevant. Do you think true love, give someone confidence in their marriage for the other person, or does confidence have to happen separate even from the love? Do you get what I mean when I ask that? Like trust,
No,
maybe trust is a better word.
I think we could go with either or. I think that when your spouse like really loves you and you love your spouse, the least thing that you would ever want to do is hurt that spouse, hurt that relationship, hurt that trust, right? And I'll give you an example. I love the peace of mind. Now, before
Yeah.
Jen and I met, I was dating a lot of women, and I never like fully trusted them, right?
He was a player,
And-
Jen.
Well,
He
but I will always say,
I'm aware of it.
but I will always say, I'm so much more happy now because, it's like if my wife's out of town, okay, why did she call me at 10 o'clock? Why didn't she call me at 7? Was she doing this? This is prime cheating hours. What's going on? I never think that. Like, she'll be gone the whole day. She'll call me at 10 o'clock from the hotel. We'll talk. Never think nothing about it. So I think there's incredible value in having. I always say, you hate this saying, but I always would much rather have a peace of mind than a piece of tail, right?
I swear.
And that's what I have.
We get sound bites, Mark, and that's another shirt moment. I'm going to
Now,
the clothing.
it's not juicy because I didn't use foul language because I don't.
No, but trust me, dude. I filled in the blank there a little. Not the blank, but yeah. No, and I get why she doesn't like it, probably, but I get why it's so appropriate too.
Yeah,
I do.
And the thing is, as men, I will say this too. As men, it is our job to take care of our wives and our spouses, right? Because my wife is putting full trust in me to be able to take care of her. You know what I mean? Not just financially, but like emotionally and all these other aspects, right? So she has I think women in general just have a lot of fear in marriage because they're relying on a spouse to take care of them.
To make them feel safe.
When that spouse is flawed himself.
Yeah.
So I don't want her to have any fear. So I want her to know, like, hey, I support you. Like, we'll do this, we'll do that. Like, our marriage is it's defined roles, but at the same time, it's very fluid because, like, hey, Nick, I need you to drop everything I got to do because I got to go out of town. Okay, great, let's do that. So I chose a career. I walked away from a career where I was super successful and super good at what I did because I knew it was her time.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did in the marriage. You do things to make it work because I'm giving my wife confidence because I believe in her abilities, and that just makes it stronger. So if that ties in your confidence.
No, that is so good, man. I'm glad we spent some time on that. But I would say, Jen, from some of the comments, I almost get the feeling of a little bit of a transference onto you on their own insecurities or their own quote unquote issues to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sad for a lot of women that are in marriages where they're not happy and their husbands don't pull the weight. I feel sad for people like that. And I feel sad for people that feel the need to say that are single, but feel the need to come over to my page and say, get a divorce, get a divorce, get a divorce. Like truly wanting me to be unhappy.
From 30 seconds, from 30-second clip of fun.
Seconds.
Yeah.
I just cannot imagine. Like if I don't like something on my For You page, I just swipe past it. Like I can go to the comments and say something hurtful. I have never, ever done that. And I can't imagine what it would take in someone to do that. And so I have compassion for people, but a lot of it was extremely hurtful because it came at such a rapid speed, like by the thousands, and it would not stop.
Yeah.
It wouldn't stop that I had to take down my video because I just didn't want more people.
So you did remove it.
I removed my video and I kept up my initial apology, which was like done in jest, which everyone flooded to that apology video to even beat me up even more. And then went on all my other videos on my page and just typed in like blue water, blue water, blue water, blue water. Like in every outfit I wore. Oh, does it come in blue? Does it come in blue? And what these people,
okay, wait a minute, that's kind of funny. I will say that's kind of funny. Sorry. So do these Stitch guys, do they take theirs down? I mean, did they ever do you think in TikTok especially, and I'm making them in a category, I guess, and they are, do they have a responsibility to reach out to the person before they set their narrative, do you think? Or is that in this information world and how fast it is it unrealistic?
I chose to put my video public. So no, they don't have a responsibility.
Because it's there. You took the choice to make it
I made the
open to
choice.
anybody.
That's on me. They can do whatever they want. I think it was hurtful from the male creator who chose to do it, because he actually, several years ago, and I had been following him since 2020. He was on a CBS show. I mean, he really is an influencer. He had to get off of TikTok because he was receiving so much online hate and bullying that he couldn't take it anymore, specifically even about his marriage. And so I think what was hurtful was like, dude, you just went through that. You were receiving death threats. You needed time away from social because your mental health was so bad. And you chose to throw my marriage under the bus in that way and have thousands of people come to my page and do the same thing. Like, did you not learn from what happened to you? That was super hurtful.
Conveniently forgot.
But it's all, to me, like it's a money grab.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
That was his most viewed video in months.
And I look at this, and I look at it this way, like, honestly, like, 80% of people in this country live check to check, right? So what happens is these people make decisions based on money, which can be very, very scary,
It's
right?
a good point.
Yeah. Like, think about it. Like, I mean, honestly, I always think, like, like, for me, I don't make decisions based on money because it's fine. I don't worry about it. Right. But I'm a better employer. I'm a better employee because my life isn't based on money. Right. Like, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to say this is the way it's going to be. And that's just the way it is. Right.
No, I get it. It's like our vertical. Same thing. If a student goes in there and they don't have, if they don't have encumbrances on financials and they can focus on the real, meaning they're here. But if they have to worry about financials and the school, then it's a double whammy, and most don't succeed. It's a kind of a mind, but kind of same philosophy.
Well, and when you make money, when you make decisions based on finance and stuff like that, a lot of times you're going to make really, really bad decisions because you're desperate to make money.
Yeah.
Just not,
And in the creator fund in TikTok, if you have a video that's over a minute and you have over 10,000 followers and you're in the creator fund, you get money based on the views of your video.
So you had to sensationalize them to some extent.
6 million views on something. And people know how to go viral. It's having strong opinions and rage bait and really good sound bites. You and I have talked about this.
Didn't you leave doing news because of that?
I left doing news because it was negative. It was just like.
But I mean, that's what sold, so to speak.
Yes.
And that's,
Yes, exactly. Same thing. So and I think at the end of the day, the people don't want to hear this, but our marriage got better from this. It did not get worse.
No, you're good people. And I want to say that loud. I mean, I don't know Nick as well as I know you, but I have never felt anything from Jenn other than authenticity and everything. And I have no choice to feel the same way in the limited time that Nick and I have met. So I just want to put that out there. And it's a shame that in 30 seconds, someone can have their whole reputation torn down, but you have recovered. And I do want to get into that in our last, several minutes or whatever. And then I also want to talk about the vertical and what you've learned at, because, Nick, she's a student of the game and she's so helpful in our vertical, which is in the proprietary school industry. And there's a lot to learn from this. I feel like even with me and what we do and how we're using social and the authenticity behind it, that type of thing. So I'd love you to comment on both those, the recovery aspect and also what you've learned that could be relevant to our vertical.
I knew as soon as it happened and I was getting beat up for a week and a half, 2 weeks, I knew it would go away because that's just how social media works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think when it's happening, you think that this is going to be your personality forever and you're going to be known as Blue Toilet Water Girl. And I was known as that, by the way. I like, side note.
Blue Toilet Water Girl.
That's what
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh, but it's funny. It is kind of funny.
It's also ironic because I hate blue toilet water, and now that's
Lord knows that's true. So there's no question about that.
I had seen a video on TikTok of a girl coming home, and her house was a mess. Her kitchen was a mess, and she had videoed it and was like, my family's no help. And the top comment, which is always thousands of likes, the top comment was someone tag Blue Toilet Water Girl.
Really?
That was the top comment because that had happened a week after mine. So this really was my personality for a while. So one thing I will tell you, It doesn't last forever. The internet is quickly on to the next scandal, right? The next rage-bait stuff. I can tell you 4 huge stories that have happened since mine where
Just then, yeah.
All of TikTok is now jumping on, this other person. And so I knew this wasn't going to last forever. And secondly, I know that people can recover just based on having a good reputation or putting regular content out there. So people know what content to expect of me. I actually don't talk about work ever in my content. That's not something.
But your content is your work. So I you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
But I don't talk about what my job is. I don't give social media tips which is funny because like in this space, I very much talk about TikTok all the time and I'm always giving tips.
Yes.
If you go to my page, you will not see one video of me giving TikTok tips. That's not what I do.
But that's why you're good at giving the information to people like me.
Because I'm studying
because of that.
Yeah, sure. And so recovery wise, I just, after being off for 3 days and getting back on it, I was able to disable comments that say the word blue or divorce. I literally you can do that where you can put in certain
You just put your own
keywords
keywords in there and then say
your keywords where if someone comments it, they'll think they commented, but really it doesn't live on the page. So I was able to do that. And secondly, just like move away from it and not talk about it. One of the mistakes I did make was making too many follow-up videos about it, defending myself. And then I was like, I'm taking this down. This is coming off very desperate, very like, I need to prove myself. What am I trying to prove? Like, I have a great marriage. Who cares if...
And that's kind of Nick's point. It's like, this is good. This too will pass. It's like, it's fine.
Exactly. So all I did was I just jumped back into my regular content and it's been great and it's been fine. And so, that's what I've done. Yes, I'm still getting views on the apology video. People are still coming. And then one thing, sweet Nick did was about 2 weeks after the incident, we did a video together on TikTok.
Yeah.
Of him in the bathroom talking about the blue toilet water, just thanking everyone for the support, keeping it really light. And then I was at the very end. You could just like barely hear me, but I'm like, you better not I was like, you better not put that in the toilet, like as a joke. Because we want to be in on the joke. So that's another piece of advice. Be in on the joke. Don't let people know it really hurts you.
So I want to say it back to you, but I want you to say it again because I think it's a really good point of what you just said.
If someone is giving you negative feedback, honestly, about anything, be in on the joke.
That could be social or anything then, right? Really?
Sure. Absolutely. Like if someone brings something to your attention about yourself, be like, yeah, wow.
That's what comedians do. The really good comedians, they leverage that, right? For
sure. And the people I see succeeding on TikTok now is they take those negative comments and they turn it into something. There's a creator named Jeep Jenn. I love Jeep Jenn. She's like probably late 40s and like a lot of women in their late 40s wear eyeliner like they did in high school, the thick black eyeliner.
Oh, I'm down.
And several people had written on her videos, like, take off the black eyeliner, like it's aging you. Instead of her doing a bunch of follow-up videos about how like, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I wear it. Get off the page, which is what a lot of people do.
Like, and then you go opinion to opinion and it doesn't go anywhere.
She just got in on it. She's like, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Day one, no black eyeliner. Day two. So she was making a series out of it. She got like a brand deal with CoverGirl. She got thousands and thousands of followers. Now she's like you go to her page, she's in recovery from black eyeliner and she's like teaching other women.
That's so awesome.
How to give it up. Like be in on the joke.
I see something with Nick happening, maybe with some black eyeliner. Maybe.
No thanks. No thanks.
Well, guys, we are running out of time. I really appreciate this. Nick, I welcome you on the show anytime you want to come on. Jenn's always welcome and actually needed. But you are great. I mean, you're great. And I'm just going to say it again. 17 years doesn't happen, just happen. It takes work. It takes a lot of things, and no amount of comments would ever bring you guys down. It's unfortunate, right, that it's there, and you're a human, so you have no choice but to take it in, depending on your kind of personality trait or how you take those emotions in. But at the end of the day, you guys got a bond that doesn't break, and you did it with the right intention. So I just love hearing about it now. So
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Well, guys, that's our show on the blue water. I want to call it can we call this show the potato cake? Not potato cakes. What's it called again? Urinal cakes. Urinal cakes. We're gonna call urinal cake. Yeah, we got to think of something catchy on urinal cakes. Nothing bad, but something catchy on that. Well, Nick, man, it's been a pleasure. I can't wait to see you in person. Maybe blow some M80s off on somewhere or something like that.
I'm thinking about bringing him to C-SPAN.
Oh, please.
In Phoenix.
We're doing a show there. We're going to do somewhat of a live show there, Nick. So please, absolutely. Love to go out to dinner or something like that.
So he I let him out in golf.
Wait a minute. Is he into slot machines too?
No, but he understands I am.
Well, how could he not?
Here's the thing, though. Like, in all honesty, it's like I've always said this. I don't care if you laid $10 million in my lap. If I lost $50, I would just feel sick to my stomach on a slot machine.
I hear
because
you.
I know the value of $50. Like, you'll never get that old school mentality.
Don't do it, Jen. The show's almost over. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, guys, that's our show. Nick and Jen, the power couple. I love you guys so much. Seriously, great job on 17 years and keep going. Jen, I'll look forward to seeing you soon. I think it's like July, mid-July.
Yeah,
Max. That's right, at Max.
Oh, no, I'll see you in 2 weeks in Orlando.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. Bring him to Orlando.
No, I'm bringing my niece. We're doing Universal.
Oh, that's I've heard about that. Well, yeah, I got all that. I got it. All right, guys. Well, Nick, look forward to seeing you. Say that again.
Cut the bad stuff. Make me look good on this one.
Always. Mark and Johnny are geniuses. But we'll make sure you guys see it first. Absolutely. But guys, thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in to Chat with Charlie. Thank you for learning more. Do yourself a favor. Have all the education before you make an opinion about anything, or definitely before you use words that are powerful, that are unnecessary, before you have the full picture. You guys, Jen and Nick, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
See you guys.
See ya.